Okay, let's try this again. For the 10th time, this is Jason Robinson from Illustration by Design. I'm a graphic artist, illustrator, and comic book artist, and I'm currently illustrating this comic right here. Yeah, you kind of see it. There you go. It is called Secret Comics Presents, and it is a horror anthology comic book that is currently for sale right now on Indiegogo. If you look in the description, you can find a link, and I will also post it in the chat for you, for all you fellas and ladies. Um, and it is available for only 60 days. So please, if you would, check it out and order a copy because we're trying to raise funds to get this published, and we're dependent on readers and interested uh, an interested audience to buy the book so that we can publish it and mail it out to everybody. So if you would, please check out the link and buy a copy or 10. All right, there's a link. So, not sure if anyone's watching. This is the third time I'm trying to live stream me drawing this page today, this evening, within the last hour, and each time the stream has died. I first tried streaming from my phone, which usually works, but it didn't this time. It crashed. Not the phone crashed, but the live stream did. And then I tried using OBS and StreamYards, and then that spontaneously died, that stream, within probably about 10 minutes. And now I am resorting to, I shouldn't say resorting to, but I'm using StreamYards, which is very reliable, but unfortunately they only have a 20-day free usage. After that, you have to pay a subscription fee, and I don't know if I want to pay that right now. It's like $25, but probably about $20. But $20 a month, that's I don't know. I would have to be monetized in order for me to do that. At least then the videos would pay for themselves. Right now, I'm doing these live streams. I'm not monetized, so it would just be money out of my pocket that would be better spent towards toilet paper or something else. Um, so right now I'm down to I think the last four hours of free time I have on StreamYard. So I'm kind of reluctant to use it unless absolutely necessary. But I need a live stream. I need to show myself drawing this book for the customers and the readers of the book. So here I am. What's this? 1, 2, 3. All right.
I need the kind of music men own a whistle when they feel on top of the world. I need the kind of music men own a whistle when they feel on top of the world. And then one of the many things that give you that liftoff feeling is the pleasure of being celebrated. top of the world.
Mm. Okay, it's working. It's still going, so I'm going to keep on drawing.
count so many percent. Thus, the number of cycles per second in a given sound are described as its frequency. Are you with me? Now watch what I
This sort of detail is kind of tedious. But I gotta do it. You gotta do it.
As the record plays, the needle wiggles at the right number of cycles per second, which is
What time is it? It's 11:46. Seems longer, probably because I've been trying to live stream for the last hour or more. Probably the last 2 hours. Get a decent stream going. Give me a second here. How long? Let's see. Okay, I'll live stream until I say 12:30, and then I'm gonna shut off because I'm starting to wear down. Wasted too much energy just trying to get online in the first place. Not that many people are watching, so I'm not gonna stress over it too much. There's 2 people watching. One of them is me. So whoever else is watching, hope you're enjoying the stress show. Me stressing out over this. Excuse me. All right. All right. Glasses. Let's see. It's, Excuse me. Don't you be that Ikaru, get come on and follow through. On the other side of it. Whatever, whatever. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot to put the banner on to remind folks to go and support Secret Comics Presents, the comic you are now currently watching me draw. We will need all the people we can get to support this book, or else we won't get funded, and then the comic won't be printed, and everybody will get refunds, which I guess is okay, but I would prefer that the book get completely funded, then everybody get a cool comic book for their money, and some original art if they buy that tier. That'd be awesome. So there are 3 people watching. Flint Amaranth here. How you doing? Good seeing you, Flint Amaranth. This is the 3rd attempt of me live streaming tonight, and I've been probably wasted like an hour and a half, 2 hours just trying to get online to do it. So hope everybody is having a good weekend so far. I hope everybody will do me the honor of hitting that like button, if you would, for this live stream. And please share this live stream out to people. Let people know that I am online and drawing, trying to get this comic book done. Slowly but surely. And it's stuff like this that slows me up. It's all little detail stuff, which I kind of hate, but you kind of also need in a comic book, or else it ends up looking like a Rob Liefeld book. No, I don't know if I should knock Rob Liefeld because he's made a career from his comic book stuff, but I'm not the biggest fan of his style of comic art. Let's see. But Emmerich says everyone needs to back this. Do it for America. Evan Hotep says YouTube is messing with me. Yeah, YouTube's messing with me too. I tried streaming from my cell phone. I tried streaming from OBS, and both of them worked for about 10 to 30 minutes, and then they both conked out, and spontaneously with no warning. And then finally, I just bit the bullet and said, I'm just going to go on to StreamYards, even though I only have about 4 hours left on my free plan. But I need a live stream, so I'm going to try to figure out over the next few days what's going on, see if I can work with OBS and get that to be a consistent, stable stream. It's just frustrating. So I'll keep plugging away, see what happens. Hopefully, I'll get it resolved. All right. Trying to think of what I should do here. That's okay. 4 people watching. Let's see if we can get it to 6. That'd be cool. Won't be quite as lonely as it's been the last, how long have I been live streaming? What time is it? Maybe about 45 minutes. It's been me and some mystery person. Has been 2 people watching, including myself. So hope you guys are doing good. How do I do this without messing it up? That's always the question when you're drawing. How do I do this without messing this up? The answer is usually just dive in and see what happens. That's the usual answer. All right. Okay, come on. Frustrating. Hmm. So, for anyone curious, we are currently at 30% of our funding goal for this comic book. We have 52 days left. It's okay, but it's not great because we need to reach a certain amount every day in sales in order to fund it, and we're kind of falling short. So, if you haven't already, please don't wait. Do us a favor and buy a copy today, right now, because every day that we don't meet our goal, that just means that the following days we'll have to raise even more, and it just gets successively harder the more that happens. And I hate to I hate being a salesman and kind of an annoying nag, but unfortunately, those are just the facts of crowdfunding. You have to keep pushing whatever it is you're trying to support and fund in order to get you know get it funded. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just sort of cajoling you, trying to convince you to back the book, because I want to make it as cool as possible. I want you guys to enjoy it once you get it in your hands. So, have any of you gotten the Red Rooster PDF today? If you backed Red Rooster about almost 2 years ago now, you should have gotten a PDF. in your email with the first 25 pages of the book. So I got mine. I did a review of it. So check out my channel, this one, Illustration by Design, and look for my Red Rooster review. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and make sure to hit the bell for notifications of future videos, so that whenever I do stuff like reviews or unboxings or other live streams, you guys will get a heads up about it and be able to check it out. Let's see here. Let's see. Flint Amaranth says, I didn't back Red Rooster. Just wasn't appealing to me. Guess I dodged a bullet with that one. Yeah. I mean, at least you're not having to wait 2 years to get the book. I read it, thought it was good for what they sent. It's just it would have left a much better taste in my mouth, and I think in most of the fans' mouths, if they'd received it on time a year ago. But I think a lot of people are just been sort of put off by the lateness of it and sort of the reasons why it's late. I think that's what's turned people off more than anything, So, knowing that other people are going to get the book before they are because of certain deals that were made with various companies. So, but the book itself is good. Having read the first 24 pages, it's a good book, and it's one of the better ones that have come out of Comicsgate. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. As Forrest Gump would say, it's a good book. All right. Hold on. How's the story of Red Rooster? Well, it's just the first part. Apparently, it is can be a 64-page or 68-page story, and we got the first 24 pages, so it's like a standard comic book issue. It's good. I mean, it's the story seems fairly solid. The basic storyline that we're given it's told in flashback. It's told in flashback. So basically, Red Rooster, his days of superheroing are behind him. He's still a young man, a relatively young man, but he's sort of lost his reputation, and the story that's being told is how that came to be. What happened to him? He was extremely popular superhero and sort of media figure in the 1930s, Depression era America, and it tells the story of how all of his enemies sort of ganged up into a Legion of Doom and conspired to have him destroyed, his reputation destroyed, and everything that he sort of cares about brought to ruin. And that is the basic sort of outline of the first 24 pages. I don't know how how it all gets resolved. I assume that the hero comes out on top eventually. And also, I don't know if this is a complete story in and of itself, or if it's just like the first of a supposed series of Red Rooster stories that will continue on with, his fall from grace and then his redemption. I don't know. I kind of hope that this is just a one-time deal, because just based on how long it's taken for this first issue to come out, I don't think anyone's gonna have the patience to wait. If it's like a 3 or 4 issue run, no one's gonna have the patience to wait that long. It's like I'm not waiting a total of 8 years for one for one comic book story of 4 issues. If each one comes out every 2 years. So, but as I said, the story is good. Story's solid. The art is solid. It's just taking a long time to get here. Excuse me. I think that's better. I think. No. It is 12:23. As I said before, I'm probably going to sign off around 12:30, just because I've been live streaming more like less, because of problems with the internet, for the last 2 hours or so, and I'm kind of tired, so I'm gonna do what I can till 12:30, and then sign off, and I'll be back live streaming on Monday. But I appreciate everybody who has taken the time to stop by, put up with the little internet flubs that have been occurring during my 3 live streams tonight, and thank you for your patience with me. I'm also going to try to figure out how to live stream using Hangouts. And I think that's probably my best bet, but I just need to figure out how to make it stable so it doesn't crash on me again, because I won't be able to. This me using StreamYard, I only have about I guess about 3 hours left at this point of StreamYard's time. That's not gonna last very long. So, and it doesn't renew until April. So I got to find some way to bridge the gap between now and April for live streaming. Lamra says, a little OT, but would you mind giving some, I don't know what OT means, but would you mind giving some insight tips on panel, off topic, okay, on panel layout design? Yeah, sure. Okay, basically the way I lay out pages is to, I mean, this is American. These are American comic books. Oh yeah, OBS, learn it, live it, love it. Yeah, I gotta learn it better because it took me a while to figure out how to get online and get it streaming. But even once I got it streaming properly, it just died on me. I don't know why. So I got to figure that out. Anyway, page layout. The way I do page layout is basically, this is one, two. Okay, these aren't in order. Okay, but here are the first two pages, and then the fourth page. First two pages, if you can see it. Let me zoom out. Give me a second. This might take longer than till 12:30. Give me a second here. Okay, page layout. The way because this is American cartoons, comic books, comic strips. We read as opposed to manga, Asian strips. We read from left to right. So it's left to right, then diagonal down to left to right, then diagonal down to left to right. Okay. So the way I lay out pages is basically that format. But when I do it, I try to do it in a way. This is the second page. I try to do it in a way that will lead your eye from left to right. Like here, the kid is facing kind of to the right. If he was flipped, he'd be facing this way. And he's not facing directly right. He's facing sort of, you know, right-ish. But that leads your eye in this direction and gets you sort of thinking that way. Second page, here he is trying to reach out to this radio. He's reaching out to it again, left to right, and then diagonal down to here. This here is weird because you have two small panels locked into a bigger panel. So the idea is that you read left to right, then here, then to this next small panel, and then to the right. So, and again, with this big burly guy, he's sort of glancing down, which again is leading your eyes to the right. Of course, this kid's looking this way, but the hope is that you'll recognize that this kid is looking in surprise at this guy. And so you'll be like, oh, okay, this guy's blah, blah, blah. And then the word balloons also help. Once the word balloons are in, that helps you as well. Leads your eye to the right, to the next panel, and hopefully to the next page. So you turn the page, and then you get to the next page. This isn't the next page in that sequence, but it's the same idea. The kid's here. He's sneaking off to the right, and so you follow him. Here, he's about to open his door, which opens to the right. You follow him. This kid here, he's looking sort of to the right, but also down. So hopefully you follow him here to this panel. So then you look at him. He comes down the stairs. Here he is again, looking to the right, to this radio. And here's a final image of him superimposed over this bigger image where, again, he's looking to the right. And so you follow him and you flip the page to whatever happens next. So that's sort of the way I approach layout. And I try to do it in a way that's interesting, that visually is interesting. I don't want to make all of the panels look the same. All the faces and images, sort of have the same expression. I want them to be varied, so people are interested. It gets people interested in what's going on. And also, I sort of try to follow the rule that animation, or at least good animation, has, that you should be able to understand what's going on in the story without actual dialogue. If you turn the sound down on animation, you should be able to tell what's still going on in the story. And I try to follow that rule when I draw comic book pages. My hope is that you'll be able to, even if you don't know exactly what's going on, you'll have a good understanding of what's happening based on the pictures, and that the pictures will tell most of the story, and then the words to that story will just be icing on the cake in a sense. You know, it will expand upon what you're looking at, and you know, provide more detail that's needed, and you know, just you know, make it three-dimensional, fill it out. So that's my process of layout and design, and in terms of comic books. But hold on one second. Where is it? Oh, it's here somewhere. Ah, if you haven't already, get this book. Can you see it? I don't know. I draw comics the Marvel way. I got this. When did I get this? I got this when I was 11 years old, my 11th birthday, and I have treated it very poorly over the years, but I love it. It's a great book, and it will give you extremely good hints, techniques, tips on how to do proper page layout. You know, it's not a large book. It's not hard to read. You know, but it's you know, here are two examples here, just to show you. Here's one way to lay out a page, and it's pretty standard, but it's also a little boring. Okay, these are drawn by John Buscema, the legendary artist of the Avengers and pretty much everything else back in the 60s. This is one page layout. Here's the exact same scene, but with a different page layout. That's much more interesting. You know, you have one close up here. That's pretty standard, just a straight face. Here's one that's a 3/4 view. So that's sort of at a bird's eye view, looking from above. So it immediately catches your interest a lot more than this one. So it's little tricks like that that sort of makes a comic book page interesting. And he's using the exact same box layout. I mean, it's just a 6-panel layout that's exactly the same, but the drawings inside are what give it life and make it more interesting. I mean, look at this guy leaving the room. I mean, here it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm leaving. Here it's much more dramatic. And you know, you have a close up of the guy with the cigar, and then you have sort of a worm's eye view of this guy leaving. So, and it's just little things like that that you have to keep in mind when you're drawing comic book pages to make it interesting. And here's another one with the Avengers. You know, you have a monster busting into their headquarters. They're like, "Oh no, a monster!" And then they rush to beat him up. Iron Man hits him. Nothing happens. He grabs Iron Man. He's about to toss him like a rag doll. You know, Vision and Captain America are like, "Oh no, don't toss him." Okay, that's fine. It tells a story, but it's kind of boring. This one's better. Close up of the monster. You know, on a diagonal. Boom. You know, it looks explosive. Much more dramatic response to the by the heroes to the attack. Much more dramatic poses as they rush to attack him. Much more dynamic scene of Iron Man punching the character. Iron Man doesn't look like he's frozen solid. It looks like he's actually struggling. And then here, Vision and Captain America are again, you know, responding, but they have a much more dramatic look and pose. So that is, whoops. Can you see any of that stuff, or is it all bleached out by this? I can't tell. It's hard for me to tell, but hopefully you can see it. But yeah, so this book is really good. Get it, read it, learn from it. And also consider getting this book as well, Comics and Sequential Art by Will Eisner. This guy is a genius, was a genius. Rest in peace, Will Eisner. I've met him several times over the years. Really nice guy. Very, he had very strong morals, I would say. Very strong standards. And he was a master of sequential art and comic book art. Okay, this first page that I drew, Charlie Finds a Friend, this is pretty much ripped from Will Eisner's work, because he would do that sort of stuff in his comic strip The Spirit back in the 40s, where he would incorporate the text directly into the artwork. You know, here he gets the title of the artwork right here. like this, The Spirit by Will Eisner. He makes it look like a postcard. And then he has, what's that say? I can't even read it. But Hoagie the Yogi. And he makes it look like pieces of paper, sort of floating in the wind. But this guy was a master of inking, doing black and white artwork. I love his work. Very dramatic, extremely dramatic stuff. So, and this book explains his technique, why he did what he did in terms of these various pages. So if you haven't already, pick up this book and How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. These two books will teach you a lot about layout and design and how to be a better comic book artist. I cannot recommend them enough. And I hope that you guys at some point decide to check them out. Let's see, how do I get this back into my bookshelf? There we go. Bam. It's back in there. All right. Flint Emirates says, yeah, and I'm pretty sure you can pick up the Will Eisner book on Amazon. Amazon has everything pretty much. So, Flint Emirates says, so would you say the camera angle and or dynamism of the drawings is more important than the actual page layout, or are they both equally important? I would say they're both equally important, but you want to make the it doesn't do you any good to have a dynamic page layout but boring drawings within the boxes. You can have dynamic poses and have a pretty standard page layout. Like I showed you, I mean, those were very standard. They were just like 6 equally sized boxes on a page. It wasn't like, rectangles and triangles and exploding boxes and stuff. It was very standard boxes. John Buscema didn't even do this stuff where he would overlap, where I've overlapped panels. He didn't even do that. He just kept it very basic. Just box, all the same sizes. But the images, the figures inside were so dynamic that it just brought the pages to life. So I would say that what's inside the panels is more important than the panels themselves. But if you're able to make dramatic figures within dramatic panels, that is probably ideal, depending on the situation. If you have a page that's basically a scene of people at a restaurant eating dinner, you don't want dynamic panels. You just want basic paneling. So it's very easy to read, and it fits the situation. It's very calm and very conservative. It's when you have action scenes that you want to bring in sort of more dynamic paneling and make it more pow, bam, biff, zang, whatever sound effect you want to make. So, knowing when to do it and when not to do it is pretty important. So I would, it takes just time, practice, seeing what works and what doesn't work. Yeah, that's basically how I approach it. I sort of I try to glean what I can from people who know a lot more about than I do. I try to copy them when I can. I try to sort of ape their techniques when I can. But I try to I don't just try to directly copy it. I try to just mix it up with everything else that I sort of have learned over the years and try to make all that information into my own, and then just sort of like throw it onto the page and hopefully it works. But that's how I do it, basically. That's my basic approach. But anyway, I think I'm going to end the stream now. Flint, I thank you very much for your questions. I'm glad that you have an interest, and hopefully I'll this book, when it prints, it will it will have incorporated a lot of the things that I sort of wanted to. I hope it does. From comic book all the comic book stuff I've read over the years. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. It's late. I need to go to bed. And but I want to thank all of you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications of future videos. Again, I'll be live streaming again on Monday. And give this video a thumbs up if you would. And also, don't forget, please, 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 back the comic book that I'm currently drawing, Secret Comics Presents. It needs your help to get it over the finish line to be fully funded. If it doesn't get funded, it can't be printed, and you guys can't get it. So please fund it. Buy a copy. Buy a couple copies. You can buy 2 copies for $16 and free shipping, which is pretty good. Buy a free head sketch from it. You can buy a full page from it. Just click the link. I'm gonna throw in the description. Actually, in the chat, it's already in the description. So check the description. Click that link. Check the chat. Click that link, and then go over and buy some comics. Have something to read while during this long quarantine we have. Anyway, hope you guys are well. Take care. Stay out of trouble, and I will talk to you later. Okay. Bye.